Number 9 car involved in that as well, Nicolas Lapierre. He's just trying to thread a needle. Look at him. But he's already been off the circuit wide, trying to overtake and hit a jump, let's say. So he's really got to be careful now. He's a bit more cautious this time around.
Well, a clear view from the number 9 car of Nico Lapierre. This is the Dempsey Proton Racing car. That is 4th in class in AM at the moment. Cairoli getting out. Slams the door, so the Frenchman, the Italian makes his way out of the way. One of the Germans getting in. Is it Christian Ried? Is it Marvin Dienst? But they'll be on their way in a moment when the fuel has gone in. Oh, those boys are in black. They'll be roasting those mechanics. Okay, let's have a quick catch up, not with an Orica, but with a Riley chassis in LMP2. Ben Keating, the American with Jerome Blake-Molan and Ricky Taylor coming over from the with the WeatherTech car.
Again, one of only 2 cars running on Michelin tyres. So I wonder if their performance hasn't been that strong today. So I just wonder whether it's as a consequence of the Michelin or whether it's they just haven't quite got it all together.
Toyota lead, 1st and 2nd. Porsche are 3rd and 4th within about half a minute. The 3rd Toyota is 5th, about a minute back. Leading in the LMP2 class is the Rebellion ahead of Matthias Besch at the moment in the other Rebellion. It's a 1-2 for the Swiss squad at present. In GTE Pro, it is the Aston Martin that has just retaken the lead. Marcus Sorensen is at the wheel of that car ahead of the number 66 Fords. Olivier Plat at the wheel at present. In GTE AM, it is the Ferrari of the WeatherTech car. Townsend Bell started it. Bill Sweedler is in the car at the moment. He's leading ahead of Paul Dalla with the Aston Martin, and Sully Ulloch in the TF Sport Aston Martin. They are 3rd in class with GTE AM at the moment. We've had a couple of people retire, including the Dempsey, the Proton Porsche, that got nerfed out by the number 26, a G-Drive car, and also the Colles car with Ollie Webb at the wheel has retired already as well. On board, though, with the leader of this motor race. He started, he's still in the car, he's on his 34th lap. It's the Brit Mike Conway, and he's racing. Louise is down there in the pits.
Yes, well, we saw that 69 pit stop. Richard, it seemed like you had an issue. What was it?
So we had to fix the tail light, which is unfortunate because it cost you a couple of minutes and very difficult to get that back in this sort of competition. You've seen how close it is in GTE, and it's yeah, you have a bad pit stop, and it's going to be very difficult to make it back. But we certainly won't give up at this point, that's for sure.
I was just about to say that within this class it is so competitive. Can all of you keep it up like this for this long?
Well, I think with these manufacturers and the development you've seen, the answer is probably yes. There's nothing in it. It's incredible racing out there. It was really, really cool, and some cool fights, and it's just a shame that you have to lose 2 minutes, but you know, we can just go into attack mode now and try and make it back.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
So McNish was right earlier, wasn't he, Peter, about the fact that light wasn't fully illuminated on the back of that 69 Ford GT.
Yes, that's right. You have to have your lights working, obviously, as you get into the night time. It'd be very dangerous not to have, so you may as well get it all sorted out now. But for sure, the officials will have pulled them up on that one.
Meanwhile, back with the #1 Porsche. It's currently in 3rd position as we speak. Let's catch up with what they have got to say with Porsche on board with Timo.
Okay, Timo, confirm. Next stop will be a full service. Next stop will be a full service. Just push it hard, mate.
So confirmation of full service, meaning driver change, tyres and fuel. So we're going to get the first of the P2 teams changing their drives. I would imagine all on the next stop that all the P1 teams will change driver. So meaning they have done 3 stints. So again, Alan did let us know about that. He thought everyone would send their drivers for 3 stints. I think perhaps as the race goes on and maybe into the night time, we might see 4 stints, more than likely. But at the moment, as we start, definitely everyone will do 3.
Look at the concentration in the eyes of Timo Bernhard, just adjusting the crash helmet, maybe a bit of sweat. Do you feel the sweat off your brow in your crash helmet, or you're concentrating so hard you have no idea?
Well, yeah, you do. If it really is that hot and there's no air blowing on you, then you do feel it gradually dripping down. But yeah, it's not a big factor. And I think these modern cars, well, we know they're not allowed to run like the old days when they might get up to 50 or 60 degrees in there. They're not allowed to do that anymore. They have to be down in the low 30s.
Leading the LMP2 class is still the Rebellions. It's a 1 and 2 for them at present. That is the number 13, that is second in class, Matthias Besch. And third in class, Thomas Laurent is right behind him with the Jackie Chan Racing. That's Earl Bamber. Bamber looking to take over from Timo Bernhard in a few moments' time out of the number 2 Porsche. So the Kiwi preparing.
Yeah, of course, winner 2 years ago with Porsche. So that was actually his first race. He's one of the few drivers that have arrived for his first race in a frontline car like that and gone and won straight away.
Alex Wirtz did it, and I think Christensen did it as well.
Oh, that's right, he did, yes.
Yeah, Wirtz turned up, won a race. Okay, this
It's Nico Prost.
LMP2 car comes round to Matthias Besch. He's second in class, Peter. That's second and third in class there.
Oh, sorry.
The leader is miles up the road. Like 16 seconds up the road. Have I got that right? Yeah.
Yes, you have.
I'm sure.
That was 13, Besch,
Yeah.
correct, yes.
I'm just doubting myself for a moment. But all's well that ends well. Right, who have we got here? We've got some LMP2s with a switch of position between the number 40, that's Allen in that car, with Perodo.
So we're starting to get a few more warnings. Car number 1 has got a warning for track limits, being Neo Gianni. So he has to be careful, or else there will be a black and white flag headed his direction.
How many black and white flags can you get? Is it yellow card and then next one's a red?
I would imagine so. I don't know for sure, but that sounds about right, yeah. So he hasn't had that flag yet, so he's still okay, but it's the first kind of warning, and for sure the team will be on the radio to him saying, Neil, you need to keep within track limits.
All of the top 3 in the LMP2 class doing very similar lap times. 3:30.6, 30.8, 30.1. So 18 seconds, 18 and a half seconds covering the leading 3, but it is that lead of Nico Prost that is 16 seconds at the moment as they come out of the Porsche curves. A little bit further back, this battle with the number 28 car, the father and son. No, the father and son combination is elsewhere. Freudian slip. Meanwhile, heat's getting to me. Bit of heat soak coming through the box, I'd say.
Yeah. So we're looking, what are we looking at now? The Chevrolet, so that must be Magnussen with right behind the former leader, actually, 97, Daniel Serra. So somewhere along the line, number 97, Aston Martin, lost some time. So Oliver Plan, the Ford, jumped him, and Christensen in the Porsche jumped him. So it's nice to see Magnussen in the Chevy up there, because we haven't seen so much from Corvette yet. And we know winners 2 years ago, so they are very quick normally around here.
Let's catch up with what Sebastian Buemi has got to say in the Toyota.
Okay, copy on the more shift, copy. Sebastian, is the brake feeling better, temperature drop now? Yeah, much better.
More shift.
Did
I hear that right?
I didn't catch that first bit.
It's difficult to decipher.
So, he did remark on the brake. Remember, Sebastian Buemi running wide down into Mulsanne on one of the laps before his pit stop. So he must have complained to the team saying, I have a brake issue, and they've done something about it. We don't know what. And he says, yes, it's much better. So he's currently running less than 2 seconds behind the leader, Mike Conway, in the other Toyota. They've got a good gap now, pulled out in front of the Porsche of Neil Gianni, almost 25 seconds. So the two Toyotas are gradually moving ahead.
Dr. Ulrich, the man in charge of Audi Sports. The Audi is so dominant here in the Zeros, as we've got a great battle with this LMP2 run down towards Indianapolis as the shadows get a little bit longer.
So that's the 27 of Victor Scheitar, isn't it? And is it the 40 car as well?
It is the Felipe Albuquerque in front of him.
Right.
Felipe Albuquerque in the number 32. Yeah, Scheitar in the leading car there. Albuquerque in the Ligier, the United Autosports car, number 32. On the bumps in the way into the Porsche curves.
Good graphic there. 6 laps to go and 4 laps to go to the respective pit stops. One of the drivers, didn't even see which one it was. I think it was it Scheitar that's been in the car for already an hour or 124 minutes, I think
it was Felipe. I think it was Felipe who's done the longest.
I'm still getting used to these graphics. They're new to us this year.
There was Roman Rusinov looking a little sheepish after having an accident in the number 26 and putting the car out. Pierre Thirier and Alex Lynn not even getting a chance to race in this Le Mans 24-hour. Also a quick glimpse there of Nick Tandy, the Brit, the winner here 2 years ago, getting ready to take over from Neil Gianni in the number 1 Porsche. In the meantime, Scheitar and Albuquerque, the Russian and the Brazilian, make their way down from the top of the hill. So it is the 7 Toyota that leads, the number 31 LMP2 leader. That's the Rebellion. Then we have Marco Sorensen leading in the Aston Martin for GTE AM, and we have Paul Dallalana in the GT Pro. Sorry, Sorensen, GT Pro, and then the GTE AM leader is the Aston Martin and Paul Dallalana ahead of the WeatherTech Ferrari, ahead of the AF Racing Aston Martin in GTE AM. Whilst we've been so busy, of course, the yellow zone's gone. Let us not forget.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I did predict it would be about 10 minutes. That is 10 minutes later, so there we go.
Now then, Nico Lapierre has sped up off camera. He's just done the fastest ever split in the second sector of this 8.5-mile Le Mans circuit.
I'm not sure it's the fastest ever. It's the
sorry, in
fastest
this race.
today, yes.
In this race, sorry, yeah. Still the fastest lap was Mike Conway, lap 7, 3:18.69. Quickest lap recently, 3:19.2 from Neil Gianni. Number 93, the Proton Racing Porsche. That's in the GTE AM class. Currently, that's got Mike Headland at the wheel as the 4 GT guys look on. Pipo Derani, who will be sharing throughout this race with Andy Prio and Harry Tinknell. At the moment, it's Tinkers who is in the car. He's currently 6th in class. And there he goes with the Ford. The LMP2 cars rushing past, and that Proton Racing Porsche a little bit further back in absolute laps, as we have Lapierre in. Lapierre in. Let's catch up with what Nico Lapierre has had to say on his in-lap.
Any info for Pechito? Any info on the car balance or on the track? No, car balance is good. Just a bit of understeer in the first corner. Understeer in the first corner. Otherwise, the track is quite good. Copy.
So, trying to give some information to Jose Maria Lopez, who is now getting in the car competitively for only the second time this year. Had a massive off on his first stint in at Silverstone, and then missed Spa. So yeah,
A lot of experience in this driver, though. 3 times world champion, so I think he's going to cope with that okay. I mean, the thing is, it's new to him, but a car's a car at the end of the day, and he's proven himself in the practice and in the qualifying to do very competitive laps, so I think that he should be able to cope with that very well.
absolutely, yes. He knows about pressure, he knows about winning, and he knows about winning well. So let's see what he could do in a big race. Big race, that is Le Mans.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment they're, you know, slightly out of sync with their pit stops. They stopped earlier than everyone else, but they're currently running probably a minute down. But that really is nothing at the moment. This early into the race, anything can happen, and we will see issues with some of the front-running cars. So a long way to go. More track limits. Oh, and number 1 again. So Neil Yanni again getting his warning for not respecting track limits.
In the meantime, Sebastian Buemi comes into the pits, comes past our commentary position, unplugs the radio, and it is going to be Anthony Davidson who will be getting into that car. The look from Anthony Davidson. The last time he drove a car competitively around this racetrack was last year. They were so close to winning it, and they lost the lead just 3 minutes before the end of a 24-hour race.
And he'd done his work. He was
done his work, yeah.
He performed absolutely perfectly, handed the car over to Nakajima. Nakajima was in the process of doing a perfect job, and the car broke down on him. So really hard to take, but they know as drivers that they can do it. They can win this race. They know what to do. They just need the machinery to last.
Maria Sharapova down there in the Porsche garage as Timo Bernhard comes in to his slot and stops.
So we're looking at a driver change here. That is Earl Bamber getting in, of course. Yes, we saw him getting. That was ages ago, wasn't it? He was putting his helmet on ages ago. So he's been ready for a while.
You've got to be ready though, Peter.
You do,
what
yeah.
If they come in a lap early?
Exactly. You know, if they're analysing all the time the data, and if it looks like that car cannot make, for whatever reason, another lap, they'll bring it in early. Because they cannot get the car stuck out on track. We saw that before with Frank Biela years ago. He got the car, he missed the pit window, drove the car on, didn't make it back, and put the car out of the race.
100 yards before the pit lane, he did 0.999 of a lap, which is no good. You need to get into the pit lane to get some more fuel in. And also remember Mark Webber. Do you remember he was sitting in the pits one day and he threw his headset off and ran back to get his crash helmet from the stand, because I think there was a mistake made somewhere and he'd lost that 10-minute time of preparation.
Yep. Interestingly, just looking at Mike Conway, he's done the 2 purple sectors, sector 1 and 2, which means that is the ultimate fastest. He's on new hard tyres.
That's Davidson on new tyres, sorry, yeah. But to be fair to Conway, if I could interrupt, Peter, he should be coming in soon.
Just looking for these cars, okay, just general understand, be careful, overtaking on the outside of the force cars. Towards the end of it, it's very dirty, it's getting very slippery. Fox this lap, press speed confirm, we do driver change with Camry.
So you regularly see some quick lappery on the in-lap. Is that because they're going to change tyres and it's just a question of, well, just crash them before we throw them away?
No, it's a case of the fuel level is very light, and you know, the track is just still rubbering in. So we should see him, Conway, pulling off to the right here into the pits. So sadly, we won't see the fastest lap of the race. He's going to come into the pits and not cross the line at racing speed. So that would have been a new fastest lap. But anyway, we'll see Kamui Kobayashi getting into the car on this pit stop. They are in pit garage 1, so it's the easiest one to find. There we go. No traffic around them. New set of tyres going on that car, and a fuel load of a new fuel load, plus a driver.
So he gets in the car, Kobayashi. Oh, get the belt on. Don't shut the door quite yet. Make sure that that belt goes over the top of your hands device. Otherwise, it'll start to dig in and it'll really hurt his shoulder.
So, I don't know for sure, but Kobayashi, maybe his last lap was that qualifying lap. No, he would have done a lap since then, wouldn't he? Because I'm thinking that if they haven't driven a full tank of fuel, it's a very different feeling, you know, when you go out on a qualifying lap, light fuel, new tyres, maximum attack. Now he's going to circulate probably 4 seconds slower. It's a very different feeling. So he has to get that in his mind, not to be trying to break at the same points as he was in the qualifying lap, which we saw was you know, the ultimate fastest lap ever around this circuit in, well, not ever, but on this layout, on this circuit layout.
Since the chicanes were put in, Peter.
That's right, yeah.
Nick Tandy, the starry eyes look on as he gets in the car and he prepares himself to go out for his first stint here at Le Mans in 2017. So then, after these current set of pit stops, we've got Kobayashi on an outlap. He leads this race in the number 7 Toyota. We have Anthony Davidson on his way as well, as we have Nick Tandy just going up to the Dunlop chicane for the first time competitively in this year's race. He's just got in the car, the man who won this race 2 years ago with Nico Hulkenberg and Earl Bamber. Earl Bamber is in the sister car at the moment, the number 2 Porsche. It is Toyota, Porsche, and then the 3rd Toyota is in 5th position overall. Leading the LMP2 class is still the number 31, that's the Rebellion. Currently, it's got Nico Prost at the wheel. The number 38 is second in class, that's the Jackie Chan DC racing car. And it's got the getting quicker and quicker youngster, Thomas Laurent, at the wheel in LMP2. In GTE Pro, we've got the Aston Martins first and second, and in GTE Am, we've got the Aston Martin leading with Paul Dalla which leads me perfectly on to introduce David Richards, who's come up to the commentary box here. Good afternoon, David. All good with you, by the looks of things.
Well, it looks like reasonable timing to come up here and have a chat.
All good atmosphere in the garage, though?
Hey, it's been very relaxed over the last few days. So it's just, you know, but it's all about the preparation. I said to one of the engineers, I said, you know, really seemed, you know, all calm and collected. He said, yeah, that was all done a month ago. And I think that's the trick on races like this. You don't turn up at the race circuit and try and sort it all out on the day. You get it all planned a long time in advance, and, you know, about 10, 12 years of practice.
You have indeed. What made ProDrive, the rally company, want to come to Le Mans all those years ago with the Ferrari? What was the change?
You know, there are lots of similarities between endurance racing and rallying, the World Rally Championship. I think the atmosphere here in the camp, the camaraderie between the various teams is it's just lovely. It's just, you know, it's not that sort of antagonistic sort of feeling you have in other teams.
Yeah, the wind is more or less like this morning. The car is mainly on the steer with Mike. He said you need to be careful outside in front of the corner because it's very dirty and you get a lot of pickup there.
Okay, so a bit of wind kicking up there for the Kobayashi Toyota. Sorry to interrupt you, David, but it's a live motor race. But no, good camaraderie up and down the paddock. Yes, absolutely, very, very WRC-esque.
I think so, and it stems from the organisers, the ACO and the top of the organisers. They're just very welcoming here, and it's you know, first couple of years are always a bit challenging. They sort of kick you into some sort of order and pull you in front of the stewards a few times. And Darren Turner will remember the early days here with us. And, but so far so good. But you look how close it is, and I do not remember a GT race at Le Mans this close before. There we are, 30 seconds spreading. Was at the top half dozen GT Pro cars, and we're sort of 2.5 hours into a race.
The new balance of performance must be working, question.
I think it is, you know. I would say that, wouldn't I, when we're in the lead, but these things are iterative, and they take a while to settle down, and you quietly get it better and better and better every year. When you introduce a new car to it, it causes complications, because it's very hard for them to get that balance straight away, and it was rather proven last year with the Ford. But I would say, looking at the overall performances now, I don't think anyone's got a lot to complain about. Look at the times now, the last laps there, 53, 4, 53, 1, 54, 6, 52, 52, 52, 52. So, you know, it's all to play for. And I would, I'll have a small wager, there are 3 or 4 GT cars within a minute in the last hour of the race.
Certainly looks that way at the moment, and it's only 5:30, having started at 3 o'clock. 2.5 hours into this 2017 Le Mans 24-hour race, as we ride on board with one of the Fords, 67 car. Tinker's on board at the moment. He's 5th in class, and as David Richards was pointing out, you know, top 10 in the class covered by some 49 seconds, but a healthy lead at the moment for your Aston Martin number 95.
If you can call 17 seconds a healthy lead, well, in a 24-hour race. But look at this queue here. It's coming up behind one of the Am Astons actually, and just to come through to the lap level. But you've got this looks like could be an interesting situation. The Ford could get through on the slipstream.
Could get through.
He's had to back off.
He's had to back off momentarily as he comes up to the second chicane down the Mulsanne Straight. Temperatures as high as we have ever seen them here today in recent years, David. Have you managed to get some hot testing in, or is it just a question of experience over those years you've been here with the Ferraris and now the Aston?
We were testing at Spa with a new tyre just recently, and the guys told me the temperatures were very similar there. So it's this is the other thing you've got to remember, that we're looking at one window of time at the moment, a hot period of the afternoon. It'll start to drop off the temperatures now in the next hour or so, I would expect. And then we're going to go into a different phase of the race as it goes into the cooler temperatures of the night. And whether our tyres work as well, you know, we're on Dunlops, many of the others on Michelins, and whether our tyres work as well during that period is hard to say. We'll just have to wait and see. I think we're going to see the Ford have a go here.
We are indeed. Harry Tinknell coming up behind James Collado. So the Worcestershire lad gets past, and the Ford gets ahead. The Ford and the Ferrari. 'Twas ever thus. All those years ago at Le Mans, the battle between Ford and Ferrari before Ford won their first, as Pipo Derani gives him a round of applause, before Ford won their first Le Mans outright in '66. They went on to win it in '67, to Gurney and Foyt here this weekend, and '68 and 1969. So the battle was ever raging, but we're here to make history in 2017. David, the Aston Martin, the current chassis, it's its last race. You've got something up your sleeve for next year.
Yeah, this car has served us extremely well, and been with the team for many years now. And it's I think that's another advantage of this balance of performance. We would have been, if it had been an open formula, we would have been out a long time ago. We couldn't have remained competitive the last 5 years, and yet here we are today with a car that's sort of in the sort of end of its lifespan, and as far as Aston Martin's concerned, because there's a new Vantage coming next year, and yet we're competitive again. So it speaks volumes for the regulations and the way they're managed, and I think those that sort of the engineers perhaps don't like it, and there might be some that be critical of it, but at the end of the day, it's great racing for spectators, and that's what people want to come to Le Mans to see. They don't want to see somebody disappear off into the distance. So our new car, now you're asking about that, that will appear next year, and well down the line with development of that car at the moment, the engine on the dyno, the first chassis is just being prepared at the moment. So it's an exciting step forward to develop a new car for us.
And you are busy on the water as well. I think you'll be tracing the progress of the British entry.
Well,
unfortunately,
Ben's out. The America's Cup last week in the semi-finals, and so he was knocked out at that stage. So won't be in the final against America this weekend and next weekend. But if anyone hasn't seen that, that's Formula One racing on the water. It's quite extraordinary. But no, we've been involved very heavily with the hydraulics and electrical systems on the boat, and that's another exciting aspect of things we do.
And we've got some World Rallycross projects coming through, and I'm sure you've got all sorts of other secret squirrel stuff ticking away in that facility you've got on the side of the M40 and Banbury in Oxfordshire in the UK. Exciting time, still exciting for you. You know, you came through rallying, you won the championship in '81, and here you are now in 2017. You're still going motor racing.
I know. It's in your blood. If it's in your blood, you can't get away from it. Even all my kids have come down here this weekend because they want to be here with me. So it's lovely, and I think this one event, if I was to pick one event of the year, all right, Rally GB doesn't quite have the weather then in November, but no, this event, 24 Hours of Le Mans, will be the place I come to every time.
Well, let's sincerely hope that you continue to have success. Let's see what happens in this race, first of all. Long way to go. I know we shouldn't use that phrase at this point in a 24-hour race, but there's an enormous long way to go. 21 and a half hours, as you can see, ticking away. But a healthy class to be in with BMW coming in next year. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Well, no, I think, you always see that successful Formula attract more competitors and car manufacturers, and that's very welcome to see them come into GT, an endorsement of the Formula and the work that the FIA and ACO have been doing with the success of the WEC.
Obviously, the LMP1 cars, the LMP1H cars, the Porsches, the Audis that we've seen in the past, the Toyotas that we've got here at the moment using hybrid. I'll ask you about that in a moment. Let's catch up with what the number 92 Porsche has got to say with Christensen at the helm.
Okay, very good lap time last lap. Really, really strong. 3 laps to go.
That's the third position Porsche in GT Pro, closing in on Daniel Serra, who's right in front there, coming towards the end of his stint with that Porsche. I was going to ask you, David Richards, boss of ProDrive and here with Aston Martin, is there any discussion with the organisers about a hybrid class coming into the GTE category, or is that a bit further away, a bit further down the line?
I think it's a little further down the line, but it's certainly a consideration. But at the end of the day, if you don't need to complicate these things any further. We're getting great racing as it is, and why put more expense and more complication into it?
Keep it that way. The fans love it. They came here in the 50s to watch the Jaguars. Came here in the 60s to watch the Fords with the American backing, and then the British Jaguars in the 80s. And the Aston Martin crowd is certainly a lot of flags waving and certainly a lot of a following.
It's wonderful to see that, actually. They say that sort of 250,000 Brits come over to this event, and it's you look around the grandstands, you look in the car parks, the camping areas, and you can believe that to be the case. It's a bit of a pilgrimage people make every year, and it's lovely to see the support that Aston Martin enjoys. Really, we appreciate it very much for anyone listening.
Do you have a highlight personal moment of being at Le Mans? Is it the sunset? Is it the sunrise? Silly question, winning, but what's your kind of favourite moment?
Listen to this, shall we? See what's happening.
Let's have a word with Tinkers, shall we?
Nice job. 4.3 to Christensen, and he's right on the back of Sierra.
Okay, so yeah, he's going well.
Close.
What's your sort of favourite moment of a 24-hour race here at Le Mans, David?
When they cross the finish line. It's such a relief. The tension builds up over hour on hour and hour, and one slightest mishap, whether it's from a driver, another driver on the track, as we've seen already today, and or in the pit lane, and you get to the end of the race and you think, I've been so disappointed in the 23rd hour of so many races that I don't like to think about it, but no, so watching the cars cross the line has to be the best moment of any 24-hour race.
Well, David, thank you very much for coming over to join us. I know it's exceptionally hot out there. We could feel the heat coming through this window here. It must be boiling down there in the garage.
Well, it's no, we've got good air conditioning in the garage. We've got fans everywhere. The engineers are all air conditioned. I have more sympathy with the drivers out there, although they do have air conditioning units in these cars, but it's still pretty hot out there.
It's still very hot indeed. I think Louise is cooking nicely down there in the pits as well, but she's got a Nomex suit on as well, but she's doing a superb job. David, long may Aston Martin be associated with the Le Mans 24 Hours. I cannot wait to see your new car. I'm bursting with enthusiasm to see what they've got coming out of Gaydon and Mabry.
It will not disappoint. There's a range of new cars coming out of Gaydon over the next few years. Every 6 months, every 9 months, you will see a new car, and I can honestly assure you they're sensational. Excellent.
David Richards from Aston Martin Racing. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope
to see you 23rd hour tomorrow.
I hopefully see you at about 3 o'clock or so. And well, you're leading at the moment with Marco Sorensen and Daniel Serra in the GTE Pro category, and you're leading with GTE and with the ever-quickening Canadian Paul Dalla.
Paul's extremely good.
He is indeed. David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We shall see how that one all pans out. So then, at the front, still, it is Kamui Kobayashi leading by 22 seconds in the Toyota from Anthony Davidson after 2 hours and 36 minutes in this motor race. In LMP2, it is Nico Prost in the Rebellion, who leads ahead of Matthias Besch, but only by 3.5 seconds. That gap has really cascaded down in LMP2. Matthias Besch in as I say, the sister Rebellion. The Scuderia Corsa Ferrari guys look on, and as they got a lot of work to do down there.
So I'm just looking at this warning down car 67, pit stop under investigation. Perhaps Louise can go to the Ford garage and find out what exactly happened there with the 67 car. So that's Harry Tinknell at the wheel of that car, currently in 4th place, and saying that his fastest lap of the race, in fact, last lap round. So he's flying, but I just hope that that investigation is not going to go against them, whatever it is.
Peter, great battle on screen here. This is for second position, 3rd and 4th in GTE AM. That's Bill Sweedler in the WeatherTech white Ferrari. Then we've got the number 84 Ferrari of Vantour, and Sally Ulloch then in the blue Aston Martin. 2nd, 3rd and 4th in AM. Paul Dalla, he is he
23 seconds up the road,
20 something seconds,
yeah.
33 seconds up the road, 33 seconds up the road.
Yeah.
He's got an enormous lead in GTE AM at
5
present.
seconds faster last lap round than Bill Sweedler, and pretty much all the cars that. So Dalla is flying in the Aston.
This is the Dragon Speed car, number 21 on screen. Hedman in the Orica there, battling. Oh, yeah, sorry, he's about to be lapped because that's the battle for first. So LMP2 has come alive with the number 31 of Prost, the number 13 of Matthias Besch. That's the blue and red and white cars with the V on the front. The white car with the stripes is being lapped. So the blue cars, the sister cars, nose to tail, nothing between them in LMP2. Popping and banging, and great sound coming out of the 4.2 litre V8 Gibson that is in all the LMP2 cars. Was that a little bit wide? Was that a little bit wide? Yes, it was. And is there a problem? Oh, there's a problem there for Matthias Besch. He's lost all of that advantage that he had. It's as if it didn't want to accelerate out of Arnage. And he's got the Dragon Speed car unlapping itself in front of him again. And now he's caught up behind it in the middle of the Porsche curves. How bizarre. It was just out of shot behind the trees as he came out of Arnage. And they're curious as well as to what was going on.
So we've got some kind of incident in zone 15-16. What is that? Tête Rouge? Is that Tête Rouge?
No, 15-16 on the way down to the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight,
we've got
Peter.
double yellows there, so something's happened. Someone's off the track down there.
Let's wait and see if the cameras pick up on that in a few moments' time. So double yellows at the second chicane on the back straight, the Mulsanne straight. It is coming up to 5:45 here, local time in France. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching all over the planet. This is the 85th running of the Le Mans 24 Hours. We are at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Look at the grass. Look how hot it has been in recent days. The grass is no longer green on the run down towards the Forest S's, towards Tête Rouge. It is toasted already, and that's the kind of colour grass you expect in France in the middle of July rather than the middle of June. It has been roasting hot here for days and days on end. Some very red spectators out there in the spectator areas. And in fact, big warnings being put up on the big screen television this morning. Hydrate yourself, drink, drink, drink water, as opposed to something else around
I don't think they mean beer, do they?
No, they didn't mean beer, no. Okay, that's the first chicane that we are exiting from. And there's a problem at the second chicane, but I think those yellows have been cleared as we have the Michael Christensen car into the pits, and it's been cleaned, the Dane.
And also the 67 of Tinknell. So they've both pitted on the same lap.
There is Harry Tinknell, or the car at least. Dave Wilcox on his knees at the top of your shot. Former ProDrive rally guy, engineer, mechanic, been with ProDrive forever, but made the step over to the Ford GT squad before their debut in the World Endurance Championship last year. And the Multimatic squad who've been building these road cars in the north of the USA, up towards Detroit. But the European base, again, in that Silicon Valley, motorsport Silicon Valley belt that is, you know, Banbury, Milton Keynes, down to Oxford. And a huge, huge industry that is motorsport in the UK, some £7 billion worth of industry that is motorsport in the UK. Yellow flags now being waved at... Oh, we got a spinner, and we've got a spinner here at Indianapolis. This is the number 38 Jackie Chan Racing Orica, and Thomas Laurent, third in class. Third in class, he's gone off, and he's had to be dragged back, has he? And he's struggling to get it started. And 'twas ever thus, you struggle to get a hot engine started, as Thomas Laurent, who did such a superb job to be up to third in class. Big, he's having issues with the starter, of course, because that was Ollie Jarvis who couldn't get it started in the pits. Here we are, we're on board with him, he's going to go in, he's just going to go straight on, and he's going to hit the barrier. But of course it's stopped. Can he get it started? Listen, listen.
Yep, as you said, that was a car that was struggling to get restarted after the very first pit stop, so seems that they've got the same issue, but that wasn't the reason why he went off. He just seemed to miss his braking point, and we've talked about that corner. It's very cambered, and if you miss the camber and fall over the top, it's got damage on the front. So he's got it going again, but he's definitely going to have to pit and get a new nose on that car.
On board with Thomas. Well, he's been so quick, but the youngster just making that smallest of mistakes, and the penalty really not quite fitting the crime, but 'twas ever thus. That's Le Mans.
Not sure how far he is into his stint, whether that's going to affect too much. I mean, he's obviously lost a bit of time from the crash, but Yeah, perhaps he was due a stop fairly soon anyway, and it might not be so bad. So he's just crossing the line now into the pits.
But these LMP2 cars, Peter, they're built pretty solidly. Yes, the nose is damaged, but the structure of the tub to which the nose is attached will be perfectly okay.
Oh yeah, should be fine. It wasn't a big enough hit really to do any more damage. So is that
First and second, and now a new leader in LMP2. Matthias Besch takes the lead ahead of Nico Prost, the two teammates battling nose to tail, just as we saw with the Toyotas earlier on in the race, and it necessitated the Toyota management to say, cool it guys, don't do anything silly, we're leading this motor race. And the same kind of messages, you've got to believe, will be coming from the Rebellion garage into these two cars.
This team very used to running privateer P1 around here in Le Mans, and they're always fighting each other, and now they're doing the same in LMP2.
Okay, Louise is down there in the pits. What's happened to Thomas Laurent with the number 38?
The new nose for the 38 for Thomas, and they've just gone out, back on track now.
Okay, so that was pretty quick.
Quick changeover.
Quick changeover, pretty quick. In the meantime, let's catch up.
A very, very tiny contact of the GT was really small on the left side, but really like rubbing. Okay, copy, Nico, copy. Don't take any silly risk. Understood. We're gonna watch that.
So he's had a coming together with a GT car on the left. Did he say? I think I heard it on the left rear.
Yeah,
and the team
difficult
saying,
to understand, but yes, he's been told not to take any risk.
Was it here with the Gulf Racing? No, because that was just the pass for the lead, or was it later on? But he's had a coming together. New nose on the front of that Jackie Chan number 38 after the damage that we saw from Thomas Laurent a moment ago. You'll be frustrated with that, but keep it cool. Keep it cool. The race should come back to you. You've got the speed. The race should come back to you. But the trouble is, nowadays in LMP2, you've got to be every single lap on it. This was the damage on the... in fact, it disappeared on its own.
Flew off at the right time, just as he's coming into the pits.
Hope it didn't land in the middle of the track. I don't think it did, but they put the nose on, they got the old bodywork out of the way, got those locator pins in, got the clips all done, and they were on their way. Dropped from 3rd to 7th in class.
Certainly could be a lot worse. I mean, he's made a mistake, but it could have been a lot worse.
This is the leader in GTE AM, Paul Dalla in the garage, in the pits, should I say.
Yeah, I'd imagine he will stay in the car. He's done a great job so far. Big lead, actually. So, yeah, keep going, Paul. Keep doing what you're doing. Looking at the GT Pro as well, we've got Daniel Serra in 2nd place, just set his fastest lap of the race, 52.2, starting to close in on Sorensen, up ahead of him a little bit now. And also Ryan Briscoe in the 69 Ford, set his fastest lap. So lap times are starting to come down now, maybe it's starting to cool off, I don't know.
Relatively speaking. Feel like it from here, and we've got the luxury of a bit of airflow in this commentary box, but the sunshine is absolutely over the top of our heads, slightly in front of us, and it is very warm coming through the glass indeed. I cannot imagine what it's like for these drivers in these cars, wrapped up in Nomex 3-layer overalls and balaclavas and crash helmets. Here you have the leader of GTE Pro, Marco Sorensen, into the pits. Clean the bugs, because yeah, you got to keep that windscreen as clean as possible, because it's 10 to 6 here local time, Peter. Sun's getting lower. You daren't put the wipers on, because that's just going to make a complete mess of it. You need your vision, don't you?
That's right. The worst area is actually down towards Indianapolis. So you come out of Mulsanne Corner, you've got those 2 flat-out kinks, and gradually, as the sun drops down, it's right in front of you as you go into Indianapolis, and it's really difficult when it gets to that twilight, but we're not quite there yet. maybe another hour or two away.
Number 71, GTE Pro, Davide Rigon. Third in class for that Ferrari. He comes in to make his stop. So the top 5 in GTE Pro have all made their stops. I rather suspect it'll all shake out as it was. Before they came into the pits.
Yeah. That's the thing, we're starting to just almost 3 hours into the race, we're starting to see cars on different strategies.
Careful, you are on the fastest on track at the moment. You're doing a very good job. Very good job. Gap is 47 seconds with Anthony and 34 with Sandy.
So the team just confirming to Kobayashi he's doing a very good job. We just saw an onboard camera there, and I'd love to see that again, because to me, it looked like he overtook a car on a yellow flag. But maybe I'm wrong. I just caught it, and I was like, was that a yellow flag?
No yellow flags being indicated on our data screens.
Then if that's the case, then I was wrong, and good, because we don't need him getting any kind of penalties.
But I bow to your driver's peripheral vision, Mr. Dombrey.
I don't trust myself fully, so we'll just, you know, be quiet about it for a bit.
Jean Todt, the president of the FIA, in there on the blue shirt, together with Pierre Fillon, who is the president of the ACO, the company that runs this Le Mans circuit. Sir Lindsay Owen-Jones, just shaking hands with the Toyota Big Brass there, who is on the World Endurance Committee for the future of the sport, together with Gerard Neveu, who is the boss of the World Endurance Championship. So, together with Chase Carey, who waved the starting flag here at Le Mans to get this race underway now 3 hours ago, who is part of the Liberty organisation, who now own the commercial rights to the Formula One World Championship. It's one, hopefully, big, happy motorsports family concerning the Le Mans 24 hours. Let's catch up, see what Anthony Davidson's got to say.
Good job, Anthony. Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Keep pushing, keep pushing. Is that any motivation for you when you're a driver, Peter?
I think we might have just caught the end of a conversation there. I don't think he got on the radio and said, just keep pushing, keep pushing. I think that was just the tail end of something. Maybe Anthony had something to report back about the car. I mean, yeah, we don't know what traffic they did, but that last lap he was a second off Kobayashi's pace, so I wonder whether he's just not quite happy with the setup of his car and he's just complained a little bit, and the team's just said, no, just keep pushing, shush.
Just kissing the top end of 210 miles an hour as he goes down the first part. Now he uses the hybrid power. Look at the battery on top left, sinking, going down. Now the hybrid power is no longer used. This is pure engine power as he makes his way in the middle part of that Mulsanne straight down towards the second chicane, the Michelin chicane, as Todd and Hugues de Schonack chat away. Todd, no stranger to Le Mans, after he had won the World Rally Championship as the team boss of Peugeot. He brought Peugeot here to Le Mans and won it twice back in the early 90s. He won it in 92 and 93 back-to-back. Derek Warwick, Yannick Dalmas, Mark Blundell, Jeff Brabham, Christophe Bouchou and Eric Hellery the year after. Quick little data point about Yannick Dalmas, who was in that Peugeot that year and who is the safety car driver here at Le Mans. The only man to win Le Mans in 4 different types of chassis. Peugeot, McLaren, Porsche,
BMW?
BMW, thank you, Peter. Yep.
I don't know where I pulled that from.
but you got me out of jail because I'd forgotten it. So thank you, team effort. So yeah, Yannick Dalmas, and he won it in that my favourite car to ever win Le Mans, the black McLaren in '95. As Gordon Murray said about that car and that whole project, my only regret was not driving it there and driving it back. Everything else was pretty good. On boards with this number 1 Porsche, it's in 3rd position. It's Nick Tandy at the helm. Doesn't have a mirror, as you can see. That's a television camera purveying a picture from the rear of the car in to where a mirror would normally be in a road car, banks that middle of the shot. I've been lucky enough to sit, not in this car, but the sister number 2 car, back at Silverstone, and apart from having a grin on my face for a week, it really does look like that. There is a bit of a letterbox factor going on. This is a replay of the Porsche and the Ford having a bit of a nudge and a push and a get out of my way. I think the Porsche had a bit of a wobble on the way in, and it maybe didn't have quite the drive on the way out.
Interesting. Yeah. So 67.
Tinknell and Christensen.
Yes, so Tinknell got ahead there. Yeah.
And he's pulling out as this battle for 4th in GTE Pro rages.
So I think we heard back from Louise about, you remember the 67 was got a warning for a pit infringement, and I think they had to investigate it, and it was the possibility that more than one of the wheel nut guns was over the line at the one time, and you're only allowed one over the line during a pit stop at a time.
Let's catch up with what Olivier Pla has got to say in the number 66 Ford.
The front kick speed of the first one and the top of first rate is a joke. Copy, we saw.
Well, he spoke very quickly there, and I didn't copy that. I think, yeah, he says something like, it's a joke. He wasn't happy about something. It was a joke.
Coming up to 3 hours in this Le Mans 24 hours. In a few minutes' time. But GTE Pro, the battle rages. Marco Sorensen got a 8-9 second lead ahead of his teammate Daniel Serra. The 2 Aston Martins, 1 and 2 at present. Olivier Pla, Harry Tinknell, Ford's 3rd and 4th. Michael Christensen, he's 5th in that number 92 Porsche 911 RSR. Here's your 2nd, 3rd place battle. Serra and Pla getting close, Pipo Derani still in the garage, yet to get in the car that is currently in 4th, the sister Ford GT, the number 67. Certainly a difference in engine note, isn't there, between that Aston Martin? You know what it sounds like from within the cockpit, Peter. It's got that big sledgehammer of a thumping V8 sound, whereas the Ford, the turbocharger, a bit more wispy, a bit more ghost-like.
Yeah, I guess it's an older car versus a newer car. It seems that, you know, all the newer cars tend to be going towards turbos. You see that with... oh, we got 43 in a row.
Oh, that is the Riley, the Keating Motorsports Riley. It's had it off, but it's got going again. Oh, that's going to end in tears, isn't it? And it's on the way up to the Dunlop chicane. That's never going to be a slow accident. Marmalises the brake marker, 1 and 2. It's going sideways. It's then going to hit the tyre wall and slash round. And he's got 8.4 miles to do to get back to the pits.
Yep. On the plus side, that because he slid along the barrier rather than in, I would think he could possibly get that running and get it back without too much issue. They're going to need to repair the bodywork Yep, here we see.
Not too bad, actually, is it?
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Those brake marker boards might have been the cushion against the harder conveyor belt that holds the tyres in.
He will have some flat-spotted tyres, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So that's one set that's gone. But it did look like the Porsche was online. He made a slight misjudgment that he thought he could go down on the